What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and it is good to be here for virtual life study. Forgive me, I'm literally pulling an Eddie King Jr. tonight, sliding across the stage, screaming, "Oh!" It has been a long and a very interesting and funny day, but it's good to be here. Listen, you are tuned in to virtual life study with the Rehab Christian Center, and I cannot wait to share tonight's word with you. Just say a prayer for me, would you? Just keep me in your prayers tonight, and I would really appreciate it. Listen, I need you to invite 5 people to church really fast. Tonight we are continuing our 7 Daters series, and we are on part 6, and we are talking about the Conqueror. And I'm here to tell you tonight is going to be another powerful night. And so you know how we do. If you're on Instagram, I need you to tag 5 people. Invite them on into the room right now. Our numbers are low there. Invite 5 people into the room right now. Tell them to tune in. Facebook, if you're on Facebook, I need you to do 2 things. I need you to share this video. And then secondly, I need you to start or think about starting a watch party. And thirdly, I want you to invite or tag 5 people right now on Facebook and tell them to tune in. It is going to be a powerful lesson tonight. If you have been here for any parts of parts 1 through 6, you can witness to the fact and attest to the fact that we have had a phenomenal experience together going through these 7 daters. And we are on dater number 6 tonight, who is the Conqueror. And so I need you to tag 5 people. Come on, Instagram, tag 5 people. Facebook, I need you to tag 5 people. I got to do this for 3 more minutes. So at 7:15, I want to start sharp so that I can get right into tonight's lesson. I need you to tag 5 people quickly and tell them to tune in to life study tonight. Listen, I promise you this is going to be fire. This is going to be a really good night. This is going to be a phenomenal lesson. And I cannot wait to share it with you. Have you tagged 5 people? Come on, Facebook, Instagram. I'm trying to get my energy levels up. Pastor's just drained. I'm trying to get my energy levels up, but I need you to tag 5 people quickly. I'm just so excited and confident about the word that God has given us tonight regarding 7 daters. And tonight we're going to talk about dater number 6, who is the Conqueror. And I cannot wait to share this with you. So I need you to invite 5 people to church. Invite them before the church gets full. Let them know they got a front row seat. If they tune in right now, they've got a front row seat. They can sit on the front, and they're going to be glad they did, because tonight I'm going to talk about who is probably the most dangerous dater of the 7 daters we'll talk about tonight. Thank you, Mom. I love you. I'm going to talk about the most dangerous dater of the 7 daters tonight. And that's the Conqueror. This is the most dangerous one. And I can't wait to get into this. And I cannot wait to share what I've got, what the Lord has given to us to share with you tonight. Come on. Have you tagged 5 people? I got 1 minute. Instagram, tag 5 people. Hurry up. I need you to tag 5 people. Go down your friends list. I need you to tag some friends that need to hear this message on dating and relationships tonight. Tonight, you either going to get set free or you're going to get mad. It's going to be one of the 2, but I'm here to tell you this conversation is for grown folks only. It is going to be a powerful conversation tonight, and I cannot wait to share with you dater number 6, the Conqueror. It's going to be a powerful conversation. So tag somebody. Come on. You've got 30 seconds. I need you to hurry because I'm starting at 7:15. I'm teaching. So you got 30 seconds to tag somebody right now. Let's get those numbers up. Facebook. If you got a watch party, I need you to tag some people and tell them to get in your party right now. Instagram, get them on the line. They're going to be glad they joined. I'm telling you, tonight's going to be insane, and I cannot wait to share it with you. These 7 daters are going to bless you. This 7 daters series is going to bless you tonight. And I'm telling you, I have come tonight on assignment to talk about what is the most dangerous of the 7 daters we will discuss. Right now, the series is scheduled to end next Tuesday. with data number 7. There is a data that I did not introduce in the original 7 daters lesson we did about a month and a half ago, that I'm thinking about adding in to extend this one more week. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if that is a 7:08 p.m. Tuesday conversation, or if that is a 12 midnight rehab after dark conversation. It's a serious one. And so I don't know about that yet, but I'm weighing it. Elder, I see you talking to me. I'm weighing it, and we'll see what the Lord says. But tonight, I need you to tune in. Listen, we're talking about data number 6, and this is the conqueror. All right. And so tonight, data number 6 is the conqueror. So I want you to go ahead and put that comment in the line, that subject or that data type in the line, the conqueror. I want you to put that in the line because that's who we're talking about. Conqueror, the conqueror. I want you to put that in the line because we are going to talk about this. And if you are not tuned in at the beginning of this lesson, you're going to be sad that you are not, because before I even get into what the conqueror is about, I want to say this to you. I'm going to start with a very fundamental truth regarding love and what love is and what love is not. All right, because here's the reality. Before we get into the conqueror, I always give you 5 characteristics every week. And let me say this too. Well, I'll get back to that in a second. I always give you 5 characteristics before of every single dater. But tonight, before I do that, I want to talk about love. And here's where I want to come from. Love is not. Love is enough to keep 2 people together, but it normally requires more. All right. And this is going to all make sense. It's going to connect to the conqueror in just a second. But let me just say this again. Love is enough to keep 2 people together, but it usually requires more. All right. And I'm about to explain this because conquerors don't love you. Conquerors do not love you. And we're going to get into this in just a second. But let me just say from the bat, love is enough to keep 2 people together. It is enough. I'm going to give you Bible to support this, but it usually requires more. Why? In a perfect world, love would be all you need. About to step on some heads, and we ain't 3 minutes in the broadcast. Let's just go there. In a perfect world, love would be all you need. If one person loves another person, and that person truly loves the other person, that would be all you need, and everything would go well, and you would live happily ever after. But let me tell you something. The reason why love is not enough is because people don't know what love is. The reason why love is not enough in relationships. I know what you read in your Bible. We about to go there. I know what the preacher told you. I understand. I know what what's the bald-headed guy who has the show, who comes on and he gives them advice. What's his name? That guy, daytime talk show guy. I know he said, he counseled you and said, love is all you need. In a perfect world, it would be all you need. But the reason why it's not enough is because people don't know what love is. And let's just go there. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I want you to get 1 Corinthians chapter 13 in the NIV. And I'm getting ready to walk you through 13 verses. And I'm going to take my time and walk you through 13 verses because I'm going to prove to you that love is enough to keep 2 people together. But in today's time, with most relationships, you need more than love to stay together because people don't know what love is. They have no idea what love is. All right. And I'm going to prove it. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Did I say chapter 13? NIV. And the NIV. Let's deal with this. I'm going to go through this verse by verse. 1 Corinthians, put it in the text. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, NIV. It's getting ready to go good. I do counsel for a living on the side. I actually do. Thank you for that. Listen, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1, it says this. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal, which means You can speak in tongues. You can even claim to know God. But knowing God is only part of the battle. It's only part of the battle. People think that knowing God is enough. I'm about to get in trouble. Well, Reverend, I got Jesus, and that's enough. I understand that phrase. But hear what I'm saying. You can have Jesus, but if you speak in tongues, flip up and down the aisle, shout, like to get your first Sunday dance on with your all white dress, all of this stuff, that's all great and dandy. But you can have all of that, but if you don't have love, you're just making a bunch of noise. Let's go further. Verse 2, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it's about to get real good. Verse 2, if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. Which means you can have a little gift. You can sing. You might be able to preach a little bit. You might be able to have a prophetic gift. You may be able to do other special things like usher. You might be the world's greatest usher. Whatever you are, whatever your gift is, you can have all of those gifts and be able to move large projects, move mountains, solve large issues, do all of these things. But 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 2 says, even with all of that stuff, if you don't have love, you don't have nothing. I'm setting the stage for Data 6, which is the conqueror, because you're going to find out that the conqueror has a lot of things, but they don't have love. I'm about to prove it. Look at verse number 3. And this is going to shock some of you when I get to that. I think it's that 4th or 5th characteristic, because there are a lot of conquerors in church who can preach, who can play, who can sing, who know Bible, who can quote scriptures. They can prophesy. They know all of that stuff, but they don't love you. Some of them don't know how to love. And I'm going to prove this tonight in a very powerful way. Look at verse number 3. You ready? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 3. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I have nothing. So for those of you who think you can give your way because you are a giver and you feed the poor and you do all of these things for people that are without, and you think that's a substitute for showing authentic love, Bible says you have nothing, right? Look at 4. This is where it gets good. You said, preacher, that love in a perfect world would be enough, but today love is not enough. Let me tell you why it's not enough. We're about to get into it in verse number 4. I'm about to give you all of these reasons why in your relationship you got to have more than love. Now, I know it flies in the face of what you've been told. I know it flies in the face of what counselors have told you and your grandparents and your parents who have been married for 40, 50 years. And we just love each other. And that's all we got is love. Let me tell you something. That is great. And I thank God for those folks that have that testimony, that truly, sincerely have it. But there are reasons why they can say all they needed was love. And I'm about to get into it in verse number 4. Because when you say all you need is love and you have real love, then it should include some things. You ready? Look at verse number 4. Love is patient. I'm about to lose the callers. Love is patient. So folk can say they love you, but if they ain't patient with you, they don't love you. Love is kind. I'm about to get in trouble. Folk claim they love you, but get mad and say all kinds of stuff to you. You want to know what somebody really thinks about you? Get them mad and have an argument and just shut up and watch. Because the Bible says, this same Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Let me tell you something. Love when you really love somebody, you've got enough discipline and self-control. Watch. That even if the thought crosses your heart or mind, you have the discipline and the tact and the self-control to abstain from saying it, hold it in because of how you feel about the person you claim to love. And so love is kind. I'm here to tell you, If folk ain't kind to you, now watch this. I ain't talking about just publicly kind, because a lot of folks like to put on. We talked about the trophy dater. A lot of people love to put on for the public and look like this for the public and look like this for pictures and look like this on Instagram. And you want to look like having all these family pictures. You want to do all of this stuff. But in private, you just as mean as a snake. You just as sometime as you can be. So love is patient. So if you ain't patient, you don't love. You ain't in love. They don't love you. Love is kind. If they ain't kind to you, they don't love you. It does not envy. Guess what? Folks you in love with should not be jealous of you. I'm here to tell you, for some of you, your greatest competition is not your enemy. It's the person who claims they love you. It's quiet. Here's my first screen. My numbers are low on Instagram. Come on, tag my people. Tell them to get on, because I'm about to go off. Let me tell you something. If you competing with the person who claim they love you, they don't love you. That ain't love. Love is not competition. Love is not and listen, you got to be careful with competition, because sometimes in a love situation, competition can be real subtle. They can folks you claim to love and folks who claim to love you can be like, nah, I ain't competing with you. I don't see you as competition. But every time you win, they get quiet. Every time something good go on for you, they suddenly get sad. They low-key get upset and get tired of celebrating your accomplishments and what you're doing. Let me tell you something. You got somebody who's envious of you. You're welcome. You've got somebody who does not really love you, because love and jealousy cannot coincide in the same space. I'm still in the Bible. Look at verse 4. Love is not proud. You got somebody in your life who claim they love you. Watch this. But you the one that's always apologizing. But you're the one that's always with the burden to make things right. But you're the one that's always with the burden to fix everything that's broken. You are connected to a prideful person and they don't love you. Because a person who is full of pride only loves one person, and that person is themselves. You're welcome. I'm in verse number 5. Are y'all with me? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. I'm getting warmed up. Look at this. Love does not dishonor others. Love ain't dishonorable. And dishonor is typically not the thing that happens in your face. It's normally the things that happen behind your back, which is why when you gonna say that somebody loves you and you believe somebody loves you, the test ain't what they do in front of your face. The test is how they celebrate you behind your back. The test is how they honor you behind your back. Because I'm here to tell you, if folks love you, then their moves behind your back should change. Love does not dishonor people. I'm in verse 5. It is not self-seeking. Love doesn't need attention. Love doesn't need to be the center of attention. Love doesn't try to compete with, love does not try to compete with you to be seen. It's not self-seeking. Verse 5. It is not easily angered. People claim they love you, but can get mad with you at the drop of a hat. They don't love you. I'm telling you, in today's time, you're going to need more than love when it comes to most of these folks you connected to. Because most people don't have none of these qualities. And they claim they love you. Love is not easily angered. Look at the last part of verse 5. Guess what? Not only is love not easily angry, while I got you mad, I'm about to bust it down to the white meat. Watch this. It keeps no record of wrongs. You connected to people that claim to love you, but they keep bringing up what happened to you 10 years ago, or what you did 15 years ago. You with somebody that don't love you. Watch this. or if you are dealing with somebody that every time you try to correct them, their response to your correction is to bring up what you did, they don't love you. That's not correct. That's not love. I'm in verse 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 6, NIV. Look at this. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Watch this. Some of y'all are going to be shocked to know that some of the people you connected to that you claim you love or that you claim love you actually don't love you. And the only sign that you have is that they actually get a kick out of you having a hard time. They get a kick out of you having a difficult moment. Watch this. They get a kick out of you being wrong. They get a kick out of you being caught up in things. Yes, that's not love. That's not love. They get a kick out of your aha moments. That ain't love. Watch this. Verse number 7. Love always protects. Watch this. Always protects. Not just publicly, for those of you that like to show off. Because some of y'all want people. Yeah, my man protect me. Child, he protect me. Child, Johnny protect me. And Johnny stick up for me. Johnny fight my battles. But meanwhile, he do all of this in public. But in private, he can't stand you. Or Susan, she got your back. She got your back and your front. Here you go, fellas. Susan holding you down in public. Let everybody know she holding you down in public. But in private, Susan is privately envious of you. Susan actually gets a kick out of you being wrong, or gets a kick when you go through a difficult time, or gets a kick when things don't go your way secretly. Susan don't love you. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Verse 7. It always protects. It always trusts. I could spend an hour on trust. But let me just say this to you. That if you are connected to anybody who claims to love you, but they don't trust you, they don't love you. And that's period. And watch this. Most of the people who claim to love you, but have a hard time trusting you, is secretly having a hard time trusting themselves. Watch this. The accuser, normally, the accuser that has no merit to do the accusing is typically the person who is guilty of the very things that they are accusing others of. I'm trying to help you. Some of y'all have been arguing with folks, trying to defend yourself over foolishness, when really you ain't defending yourself over foolish accusations because you know they foolish. What you really defending yourself against are other people's insecurities. Y'all better quit trying to love insecure people. You know, I think I might do a lesson, a life study lesson called Insecure. I watched the show. I think Issa Rae is brilliant. But I think I may do a lesson on the word insecure, because some of you are trying to love insecure people. And when you try to love insecure people, you can do everything right. You can bend over backwards to make stuff right. You can bend over backwards to try to please the other person. You can bend over backwards to do your part. You can bend over backwards to be the leader. You can bend over backwards to be the example. You can bend over backwards to be a demonstration of what love is, but you cannot love an insecure person. Period. You can't. You can't love an insecure person. And I'm getting ready to say something that's going to bust you down to the white meat again. You can't make an insecure person secure. I said it. You can't make an insecure person secure. Well, Pastor, maybe if you dress them up, Pastor, that'll make them secure. Nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, won't do it. Maybe, Pastor, if you give them some money, that makes them, nope, Pastor, maybe if y'all go out every other day, that'll make security. Nope, won't do it. You can't give people security. You can't give people self-confidence. Because have you ever been around people who had low self-confidence, but they had everything that it took to be very confident, and you were just sitting there like, why you ain't got no confidence in yourself? Like, you know, you're attractive, you're smart, you got degrees, you got a good job, you got a house, you got good credit, you got all of this stuff going for you, but you have no confidence. And it's because when a person's esteem is not right, when a person's confidence is not right, I don't care what you do to try to help them, you'll never be able to help them. And some of y'all are frustrated because you are trying to love insecure people. I said it. I meant what I said. You can't love anybody who's insecure. And I don't care what you do. You can get their name tattooed right here. So when everybody see you, they see their name right here. When you got an insecure person, it ain't gonna change nothing. I'm in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 7. This thing is good to me. Love always protects. Love always trusts. Love always hopes. Love is very optimistic. Some of y'all are connected to very pessimistic people, and pessimistic people are incapable of loving you because they are negative by nature. They always see the glass as half empty. And people who always see the glass as half empty, good God, Holy Ghost, I hear you clearly. People who always see the glass half empty, people who always think that things are just wrong and bad, are always going to be people who think that everything is against them. And you can't love nobody who thinks that the world is against them. You can't do it. Love, verse 7, always hopes. Love always perseveres. Love is not a quitter. Come in. Love is not a quitter. I'm going to help some of y'all. Some of you really know what love is. And some of you have demonstrated all of these things. Watch this. But then you have been connected to people who claim to love you, but they are serial quitters. I'm going to talk about serial quitters in a little while. But let me tell you something. If you are attached to somebody who claims to love you, but they are a serial killer or quitter, they don't love you. Because people who know how to love are not serial quitters. Some of y'all, I'm going to say it this way. Some of y'all have been broke up with 10 times in the last 2 years by folk who claim they love you. And I'm going to help you. If anybody has tried to leave you 3, 4, 5 times in the last year, they don't love you, period, poo. Did you hear what I said? Anybody who tried to leave you the last 5 times in the last year don't love you, boo. They don't love you because love perseveres. Love fights. Watch this. Even when love don't feel like fighting. Love fights. And some of y'all are attached to people and you drink the Kool-Aid because they say, I love you, girl. I love you, man. But every other month they ready to quit. Every other month they threatening you to leave. Every other month they telling you they about to go do this. Every other month they threatening telling you they about to do this. Go. Because if you love me, you don't have to threaten to quit on me. Period. Y'all talk back to me. Love does not quit. Put it in the comments right now. I need some water. Put it in the comments. Love does not quit. If you bold enough, tag somebody who thought they was in love with somebody, but they done been broke up with 3 times in the last year. Tag them. Love does not quit. I'm here to help some of y'all. I'm here to help some, and Pastor had to learn that. I'm here to help some of y'all. If folk can leave you 3 times in a year, you need to go on and let them leave. You're welcome. Did you hear what the old man said? If folk want to leave and they tried to leave you 5 times in the last year, and here you are crying and begging, no, baby, don't leave me. I love you, baby. We can work this out, baby. I just believe in us. No, honey, no, don't leave me. You are trying to demonstrate 1 Corinthians 13. God bless you. You really are. You are really trying to demonstrate 1 Corinthians 13 because love does not quit. God bless you, and I appreciate that. But let me tell you something. If you attach to anybody who in one side of their mouth claimed that they love you, but then in the same mouth, when things got hard, things got a little difficult, they have tried to leave you 5 times in 1 year, let them go, honey. Just let them go. Just let them go. You hear me? Are y'all listening to the old man? Let them go. Verse number 8. I'm in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. I'm setting up the conqueror real good. You ready? Verse number 8. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Verse 9. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. Verse 10. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. Look at verse number 11. I'm about to help all of you. Verse number 11. Some of y'all gonna find out right now how you know you got a conqueror. Because conquerors are selfish, they're self-serving, they only think about themselves. When they get what they need, they run. I'm gonna talk about these characteristics in just a second. But more than all of that, conquerors have an immaturity issue. And watch what the Bible says about immaturity. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. Look at this. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man or a woman, y'all know this lesson is gender bias because I'm about to throw some words at y'all in a few. But when I became a man or a woman, I put the ways of childhood behind me. Did y'all read 1 Corinthians 13 and 11? Let me read that again. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man or a woman, I put away childish things. Let me tell y'all something. When you're trying to love people who don't know what love is, you're going to find yourself arguing with them and having arguments, and you're going to feel like you're talking to a kid because their reasoning will be that of a child. Their conversation will be that of a child. Their thinking will be that of a child. Children love to quit. You don't know how many times my kids have told me they didn't want to do something after they started something. That's a very childish-like mentality. And some of you are dealing with children in nature because they are serial quitters. They are serial pouters. They are serial jealous. They are all of these things, and they are full-fledged grown-ups and adults who have not put childhood behind them. Paul said, when I was a child, I acted like one. When I became a man or a woman, I put away childish stuff, including my behavior. Look at this. Look at this. Verse 12. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Verse 13. Here's the kicker, and I'm done. And now these 3 remain: faith, hope, and love. Faith is great. You can believe in people. That's a good thing. Hope is wonderful. You can hope people get better. You can hope people learn how to act. You can hope people change their ways. You can hope people make better decisions. You can hope people grow up. You can hope people snap out of their childishness. You can hope people snap out of their foolishness. You can hope people get their priorities together. You can hope people get out of their immaturity. That's all wonderful. But verse 13 says, but the greatest of these is love, which means faith and hope is wonderful. But at the end of the day, if folk really have love for you, if people really carry themselves with the right spirit of love, then they're going to have all the ingredients to be able to effectively love you. And this, my friends, is the challenge of the conqueror. Because the conqueror is only concerned. The conqueror is only concerned with themselves. The conqueror is only concerned with what they like, how they are benefited, what is best for them. And so I'm going to give you 5 characteristics of the conqueror tonight. All right. I'm going to give you 5 characteristics of the conqueror. But before I give you those characteristics, I want you to put this in the comments right now. You ready? All right. Because some of you are going to make some people upset. You should put this in the comments right now. You ready? Put this in the comments. I don't have time for childish love. Put it in the comments. I don't have time for childish love. Put it in the comments. You're going to make the devil real mad. I don't, and you can fill it up with hearts after you do. I don't have time for childish love. Some of y'all thought you had the real deal. And what you discovered is you have people who only love on their terms. You have people who only know how to love according to their limited knowledge and understanding. You have people who claim they love you, but their behavior is far the opposite. I don't have time for childish love. And there is no more childish of a lover than a conqueror. I don't have time for childish love. Let's talk about the conqueror. I'm going to give you 5 characteristics of the conqueror. And I want to just tell you this right off the bat. I want you to go ahead and just either hold the kids' ears or get the kids into another room. But let me just tell you this right off the bat about the conqueror. The conqueror, for the conqueror dater, if it's not hard, they aren't interested. And when it's easy, they lose interest. All right? This ain't even characteristic number 1. This is a bonus. When you are dealing with the conqueror, I'm here to tell you, if it's not hard, they're not interested. And when it gets easy, they lose interest, which means they don't value simplicity. They tend to make things very complicated. And typically that complication rises from a need of wanting things to be difficult. And when things are just calm and cool and normal, that's not good enough for them. Because when it's not hard, when it's hard, or when it's not hard, if it's not hard, they aren't interested. When it's easy, they lose interest. I'm about to give you 5 characteristics of the conqueror. And the first characteristic is this. You ready? The first characteristic of the conqueror is this. They have extreme influence and strong conversation. They have extreme influence. Get the kids out the room. And strong conversation. The first characteristic of the conqueror. They have extreme influence and strong conversation. This is characteristic number 1. And I'm going to my favorite text to talk about things like this. And this is Proverbs chapter 7, verse 18 through 27. I'm in the New Living Translation, and I'm reading every bit of this. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 18 through 27. Characteristic number one of the conqueror. Get the kids out the room. They have extreme influence. They're very influential. And they have strong conversation. I'm about to hurt some feelings right now. Yeah. They have extreme influence and they have strong conversation. I'm getting ready to come with some next right now. Y'all ready? Proverbs 7, verse 18 through 27. I'm in the New Living Translation. Look at this. It says, verse 18, come, let's drink our fill of love until morning. Let's enjoy each other's caresses. Now, this is a conquering woman that's talking. But remember, our teaching is gender biased, right? We made it clear that not all women are certain things and not all men are certain things, right? Look at this. Verse 18, come, let's drink our fill of love until morning. Let's enjoy each other's caresses. For my husband is not home. He's away on a long trip. So she got somebody already. But she's talking to you and trying to convince you to come on out of where you are. Look at verse 20. He has taken a wallet full of money with him and won't return until later this month. Let me tell you something. You can't trust a conqueror behind your back. Period. You can barely trust them in front of your face. You definitely can't trust them behind your back. Look at verse 21. So she seduced him with her pretty speech. I'm in Proverbs 7, verse 18 through 27. I'm in verse 21. So she seduced him with her pretty speech and enticed him with her flattery. He followed her at once like an ox going to the slaughter. He was like a stag caught in a trap, awaiting the arrow that would pierce its heart. He was like a bird flying into a snare, little knowing it would cost him his life. Let me tell you something. When you listen to folks that can talk you into stuff, they not only can talk you into things you've never experienced, they can completely talk you out of your life. Some of you have lost your future dealing with folks who had good conversation. Oh, come on, Zion. Talk back to me. Their conversation literally talked you out of your destiny. You banked your whole future on that little 5-minute conversation that they gave you. Look at verse 24. So listen to me, my sons, and pay attention to my words. Don't let your hearts stray away toward her. Don't wander down her wayward path. Look at verse 26. For she has been the ruin of many. In other words, she got a high body count. He got a high body count. I'm going to get to body count in a little while. Because one surefire characteristic of a conqueror is body count. Let me tell you something. If they didn't smooth talk you, they probably smooth talk somebody else. Oh, it's quiet. It's quiet. Look at y'all. And some of y'all have fallen for some of the dumbest conversation. Hey, baby. Let me put on my Barry White voice. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. You know why you so tired? Why, Johnny? The reason why you're so tired is because from the moment I woke up, you've been running through my mind all day. Oh my God, Johnny, that's the nicest thing I ever heard. Or some of y'all responding to some of the craziest stuff, like, hey, yo, help me understand. Just Can somebody help me understand? I'm going to keep reading. I'm in verse 26, Proverbs 7. But can somebody help me understand this? What makes, now I'm going to be gender biased here for just a quick second. What makes a female respond to, hey, yo, shorty? I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on y'all's responses. Maybe y'all got a response that I don't know about. What makes a female, especially, respond to, hey, yo, what's up? What's good, shorty? Or, hey, woo, 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 woo. The only people that get calls like that are birds. And the only folks that respond to calls like that are birds. Y'all better stop. Because those usually be the ones that's got smooth conversation. Yeah, baby. Here's my number. Here's a dime. You can call me anytime. Oh my God, you gave me a dime. Stop! Stop being so and listen, fellas, it ain't just the guys who come. Some of these girls got good conversation too. Stop it. Verse 26, because some of you men are some old cat daddies, and some of you women are some old, what's her name? In Boomerang? Some of you women are some old Lady Eloises. You got an old Marcus Darling spirit. Some of these men got conversations like cat daddies, and some of these women, you got conversations like Lady Eloise, Marcus Darling. So it go both ways, but look at verse 26. Proverbs 7:26 says, for she, with her conversation, has been the ruin of many. Many men have been her victims. Conquerors got high body counts. Conquerors have ruined a whole lot of lives. Look at verse number 27. This is the last verse. Her house is the road to the grave. Her bedroom is the den of death. Can I say this to you? I'm still in characteristic number 1. I'm just getting warmed up. Perhaps the most dangerous trait of the conqueror is their ability to persuade. Perhaps the most dangerous trait of the conqueror is their ability to persuade. And I'm going to help some of y'all, because some of you ain't going to be honest enough to admit that either you had a conqueror or you got a conqueror on your hands. But I'm going to give you some signs. A conqueror can convince you of anything. They can make you believe anything. And they can almost make you do anything. Did you hear what I said? A conqueror can convince you of anything. A conqueror can make you believe anything. And a conqueror can almost make you do anything. I'm going to help you. This space is what devours a lot of you first timers. Pastor, what's a first timer? If you've been with a person, watch this. If you've been with a person and you've had an extraordinarily high amount of first times with them, I'm not talking about first time trying Chinese food. I ain't talking about first time going to a midnight movie. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about you've tried for the first time a lot of stuff, especially that you thought you would never try. If they have pulled a lot of first times out of you, you've got a conqueror on your hand. Now, it ain't that they will try anything, but their conversation is that they can almost persuade you to try anything. Oh, y'all quiet. They got heavy persuasion skills. Listen, Some of these babies wouldn't be here right now if you would have just kept walking when he tried to give you a little bit of conversation. You didn't think he was cute. You didn't think he was attractive. Had an eyeball right here in the middle of his forehead. You ain't know what his credit was. None of that. But that conversation literally pulled your pants completely down. Y'all quiet. A conqueror can talk you right out of your destiny. A conqueror can talk you right into your first time doing. Some of y'all ain't tried a whole bunch of stuff until a conqueror got in your ear. Ooh, I ought to say this for after dark. And let me tell you what's dangerous about a conqueror. A conqueror will open you up. A conqueror will open you up and have you trying crazy stuff. And then when they leave you, because that spirit is now on you, it will take you years to try to tame what the conqueror has opened in your spirit. Some of y'all won't even freaks until you got the right one. Oh, it's quiet. It's quiet, Zion. You hadn't even hardly kissed nobody. You barely held hands on a date. And now you got a whole menu of stuff. Oh, it's quiet. It's quiet in Basement Baptist Church. Child, you didn't know how to kiss. You didn't know how to hug. You barely knew how to hold hands. And you got a conqueror on your hands who talk good game to you, who spit good game at you, who spit good conversation at you, who and then in the process showed you a couple of things, and it opened your spirit, and now the freak is completely out. Now, again, this is conversation for after dark. For those of you that are married, ain't nothing wrong with having a little bit of freak in your whatever. That's it. Look, if it's good with you and your spouse, then go with it. But here's the problem. You may never get to a spouse if you don't deal with how you've been opened up. Because if you don't deal with how the devil has opened you up, you may never get to. You may never get to the spouse that can appreciate what it is that you enjoy. This is the space where a lot of some of you have been wondering, do I have a conqueror? Have you tried a lot of things with this person that you swore you would never try? Watch this. And even these conquerors, these types of daters, will have your morals and values completely out the window. Because their conversation is strong. Their conversation is strong. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. It's the home of the conqueror. The conqueror, I know he a pedophile, but the song was appropriate. The conqueror will have your mind and your body going in two totally different directions. The conqueror will have your mind and your body going in two totally different directions. Now, watch this. I hear in the spirit. Some of you, because I pastor a church called Rehab, and my people keep it 100. If I was at Rehab, I could see people raising their hand right now and saying, wait, Pastor, what if that was already inside of me? What if the freak was already inside of me and I hooked up with somebody who bought that out of me? Does that make them bad? Does that make me bad? No, watch this. But a conqueror will take advantage of what's inside of you. And I'm going to deal with this. Because if a conqueror is nothing else, they are supreme users. You better connect with a destiny dater who might have a little bit of freak in them like you got, but watch this. They're not going to use you and use you until you're no longer beneficial to them. Put this in the comments right now. Are y'all ready? Put this in the comments right now. Are you ready? Put it in the comments. It's going to take more than conversation. Come on. I'm setting some of y'all free who have been tripped up by conversation. You getting free right now. Put it in the comments. Make the devil mad. Bust them down to the white meat. Come on. Put it in the comments. It's going to take, from here on out, it's going to take more than conversation. Yeah, your conversation's good. Yeah, your talk is real smooth. Yeah, you selling me all of these big dreams. But it's going to take more than conversation. Come on. Come on, Instagram. Y'all ain't talking. Are y'all shell shocked? Put it in the comments, Facebook. It's going to take more than conversation. If you want a relationship that's going to work, folks not going to be able to talk you to death. You ought to be tired of being talked to death. And the crazy thing is, some of you get tripped up by some of the most minor stuff. Like, if a person walks up to you and say, be like, yo, girl, you fine. And you know you fine. You can say thank you, but that shouldn't be enough to get you tripped up. You should already know you fine. Fellas, if she walk up to you, be like, man, you sure are handsome. I ain't seen nobody as handsome. And you really feel like ain't nobody as handsome as you. Say thank you, but that shouldn't be enough for you to lose your mind. I'm telling you, if you want a relationship that works, it's got to take more than conversation. Because people, especially conquerors, will talk your head off and can talk you right out of your destiny. I'm at characteristic number 2. Is this blessing anybody? I'm just getting warmed up. Characteristic number 2. I'm about to get real practical for these last 3 characteristics. It's straight practicality. I've given you some Bible. I'm about to get practical. Even more practical. You ready? Characteristic number 2. Get the kids out the room. Characteristic number 2 of the conqueror is this. They are more interested in the challenge than the journey. Characteristic number 2 of the conqueror is this. They are more interested in the challenge than the journey. I'm about to make somebody real uncomfortable. They are more interested in the challenge than the journey. Characteristic number 2. They are more interested in the challenge than the journey. Instagram, I'm about to lose you. We don't have a lot of people on the line, but I need you to tag everybody that's on this call, and I need you to tune back in because it's getting ready to get heavy. Are y'all putting down characteristic number 2? They are more interested in the challenge than the journey. Let's deal with this. They are more interested in the challenge than the journey. Here's the issue. When you have a conqueror on your hands, when you've got a conqueror on your hands, here's the challenge. When you have a conqueror on your hands, you've got to understand that at the core of who a conqueror is being attached to something that brings about difficulty or brings about something that's difficult to solve. I don't want to lose you here because I've got to go deep for a second so I can make this practical. Watch this. At the core of who a conqueror is their ability to solve problems. This is going to throw you. I don't want to lose you, all right? Conquerors are actually good problem solvers. And it makes sense. Listen, It makes sense. It would make sense that a conqueror is a good problem solver because they are attracted to what's difficult. Hear me. They are attracted to what's difficult. The movie. Here we go. The movie. Deliver Us from Eva. Deliver Us from Eva is a little low-budget movie. LL Cool J's in it. Gabrielle Union's in it. Some other actors are in it. Deliver Us from Eva. And LL Cool J is the conqueror. And Eva was the mean girl. She fine. She got a good career, but she's the mean girl. She didn't want to talk to nobody. You know, nobody could get at her or whatever. And so the fellas bet LL Cool J that he could get at Gabrielle Union. He gets at her. He breaks that wall down, all of that stuff. LL Cool J in that movie is a classic example of a conqueror. They're good problem solvers. They love a challenge. Here's the problem. But they're poor at implementing solutions. They can solve a problem, but they can't implement a solution. And here you go. For some of you who have been trapped by conquerors, I hate to bust your bubble, but the reality is these conquerors don't date you because you're awesome. Oftentimes, they date you, they're in relationship with you because you are either convenient or because you present a challenge that they want to solve. I hate to break the news to you. You can be wonderful, and it doesn't mean you're not wonderful. It doesn't mean you're not brilliant. It doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It doesn't mean you're not attractive. It doesn't mean you don't have a lot going on for you. But I'm here to tell you, when you've got a conqueror on your hands, you can be the full real deal. You can be the full menu. But when the conqueror has ate from everything from the menu, they normally have no more use from you. It's not that you're awesome. Oftentimes, conquerors stay with you because you're convenient. Because when they figured out the challenge that is you, the only thing that keeps a conqueror with a person that they figured out is convenience. Did you hear what the old man said? I said the only thing that keeps a conqueror with you who has already figured you out is convenience. Maybe they ain't got another place to stay. Maybe the money they're getting from you out of the deal that the relationship marriage you're in is good enough for them to hold tight. Maybe the sex is bomb. Whatever. I'm here to tell you that when you've got a conqueror on your hands and they're done with you and they have completed the challenge, they have conquered the challenge, the only thing that keeps them with you is convenience. And so at that point, it's no longer them the problem, you're the problem. Don't you dare let people be with you out of convenience. Don't let people stay with you out of convenience. Watch this. If you want to test the intent of the conqueror, if you want to test the heart and the true nature of the conqueror, if you want to test their motives, watch this. Protect your access. Take your access and protect it. You want to test the intent and the heart and the character of a conqueror, or a person you might suspect as being a conqueror, then start protecting your access. Don't let them have access to you when they want it, how they want it, as often as they want it. Start calling more of the shots instead of following all the rules. And then you're going to find out if you have a conqueror. Their selfish desire for what's convenient makes them serial quitters. When you are no longer convenient, they will quit on you. When you are no longer satisfactory to them, they will quit on you. When you no longer present a challenge to them, they will quit on you. They are serial quitters by nature. Especially when the challenge is no longer there. Especially when the thrill is no longer there. Serial quitters. Characteristic number 3. I'm moving. Is this blessing you? Here's the third characteristic of the conqueror. Boy, these comments are low tonight. Watch this. The third characteristic of the conqueror is this. You ready? You got the kids' ears covered? I'm giving you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. The third characteristic of the conqueror is simple. This is the domain of the pimp, the player, and the whore. The conqueror. This is the domain. Characteristic number 3. This is the domain of the pimp, the player, and the whore. Get the kids out the room for the next 8 minutes. You ready? To the conqueror, multiple partners creates companionship that is exciting. To the conqueror, multiple partners creates companionship that is exciting. They not even really into the people as much as they are the thrill of having multiple options. Yeah. It is thrilling to them to have multiple options. It is thrilling to them to have a variety of choices. Because multiple partners, multiple connections creates a sense of companionship that seems exciting. And so because of this, I'm here to tell you, one common characteristic of a conqueror is high body count. One common characteristic of the conqueror is a high body count. Now. Let me remove my glasses. Let me get the fog off my glasses for this. Because I hear some of you. Well, Pastor, I got a high body count, but oh, no. Let me take you out of it. Let me talk about a person that claimed they love you. Pastor, he said he got a high body count. Pastor, she said she got a high body count. But, we talked about our past. And, most of the people on his body count list, most of the people on her body count list, they were mistakes. They were young, Pastor. They made a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you something. One time might be a mistake. Second time might be a mistake. But I'm here to tell you, you don't make mistakes 20 times. Anybody that's made a mistake 20 times has crossed over from mistake zone to character zone. It ain't a mistake. It's who you are. And I'm here to tell you, if these little folks that you claim you love got high body counts, watch this. Now hear me, because I hear some of you in the spirit. Well, Pastor, you mean to tell me if a person got high body count, they can't make a good mate? I'm not saying that. They can make a good mate. It's possible, especially if they change. But they got to be willing to change. But if they are conqueror and they got a high body count and they getting a thrill out of having multiples, I'm here to tell you, you just one of the numbers. Your testimony is, I'm glad to be in the number. You don't have no relationship. You're just one of the numbers. One of the common characteristics of a conqueror is a high body count. Because multiple partners is something they thrive off of. They can look you right in your face and tell you you're the only one, and literally have 6 other people behind your back. And juggle them better than the clowns juggle balls at the Barnum and Bailey circus. I'm going to take it a step further. While I got your attention and the kids are out of the room, a lot of your church thoughts live in this space right here. A lot of your church thoughts live in this space right here. Pastor, wait a minute, Pastor. There's such a thing as a church thought? Yeah. There is such a thing as a church thought. Pastor, what's a church thought? All of you folks that have gone to church seeking godly companionship, let me just tell y'all something. I don't want you to misunderstand this. Can you find godly companionship in the church? Yes. I truly believe you can find godly companionship in the church. You can. You can find godly companionship in the church. And that's without a doubt, because everybody in the church ain't faking. Just like everybody in the hospital ain't sick. Right? But let me tell you something. If you are looking for godly companionship, I'm here to tell you that a lot of conquerors live in the church, and they are church thoughts. What's a church thought, Pastor? It's those folks that can quote some scriptures. They might be able to preach a little bit, might be able to sing lead songs real good, might be junior deacons on the deacon board. They pray with you. At night, y'all pray on the phone. Y'all read the Bible together. They know how to quote a couple of scriptures. They got Psalms 23 down pat. They got all of that stuff. But ain't none of that minimized their body count. None of that has minimized the fact that just having you is enough. And I'm going to tell you about this domain right here. We talk about the pimp. We talk about the player. When we talk about the whore. When we talk about the church thought. Sex almost always changes the conqueror for the worse. Did you hear what I said? I said sex almost always changes the conqueror for the worse. You want to know how you got a conqueror on your hands? Maybe you can't see the body count. Maybe they lied about the body count. Let's use that example. Let's just say you met them in church. They lied about their body count. And you're right, because some of you, I hear you. Some of you are even saying, well, Pastor, that's why I don't date people in church, because they whatever, and I just date people out in the streets. And it just seemed like the ones in the church, they the ones getting married. Yeah, there's a whole lot of folks that's church thought that's getting rings. And most of them are trophy daters. They ain't getting a ring because they want a man. They ain't getting a ring because they want a woman. They getting a ring because they want to look like marriage. They want to look like success and happiness to other people. Let me tell you something. Let me just go ahead and say this before I just give my talk on sex real quick. A ring is not going to change a thought. Did you hear what I said? A ring will never change a thought. A thought is going to be a thought. Is going to be a thought. Male or female is going to be a thought. Period. Point blank. And that's on that poo. A ring will never change a thought. A marriage will never change a thought. None of it. None of it. My grandma said it like this. Can't change. You can't turn a hoe to a housewife. I'm going to take it a step further, because this ain't gender bias. You can't turn a hoe into a husband either. You can't. So I'm here to tell you, when it comes to sex, Some of you know you got a conqueror. Watch. Because everything was good in the relationship until you had sex. Did you hear what I said? Everything was good in the relationship until you had sex. And then when you had sex and you continued to have it, not only was you out of order, but beyond being out of order, you continued to have it, and slowly but surely, their feelings, their sentiments, their niceness, their kindness, their patience. Come on, 1 Corinthians 13. Their patience, their long suffering, their gentleness, all of this stuff slowly but surely started wearing off. And the reason it wore off is because when the conqueror gets the cookie, they ain't hungry no more. Did you hear what I said? When the conqueror, some of y'all need to tag 5 people and get them in this room right now. When the conqueror gets the cookie, they not hungry no more. And some of you knew you had a conqueror because the minute you gave them the business, everything about them started changing. Everything about them. All of a sudden, y'all went from talking every day to now you can't even have a 5-minute conversation without an argument. You can't even have a 5-minute conversation without being tired of the other person. You can't even have a 5-minute conversation. And the reason you can't is because you've had sex with somebody who has achieved what they set out to achieve. Sex, almost always, 95% of the time, changes them for the worse. Characteristic number 4. I'm wrapping up. I got 2 more characteristics. All right. Characteristic number 4. You ready? You can bring the kids back in for this one. Then you got to probably take them out for number 5. No, you can bring them back in. Characteristic number 4 of the conqueror. I know this is good teaching. This is sound teaching. So Stephanie, I don't think the people like this kind of sound teaching tonight. But this is sound teaching. Some of you need to think twice about giving up your cookies. You need to take your cookies and you need to lock them up indefinitely. Indefinitely. Because you've been giving your cookies away to conquerors. And every time you get in a relationship or a situation with somebody, it's always good up until the sex. And you sitting there looking at yourself saying, well, I know it ain't the sex because, I got bomb sex. But since you have put a chink in your destiny by having sex with somebody and you've gone there, let me tell you something. If the relationship is always going left after you have sex, you've been giving it up to conquerors. And some of you need to take the cookie, lock it up in the jar, and put it on the shelf indefinitely. Woo! Y'all didn't like that advice, did you? And it don't matter. You right, sister. It don't matter how old you are. Let me tell you something. It can be young cookie, middle-aged cookie. And when I'm saying cookie, I ain't just talking about women. I'm talking about guys too. Some of y'all need to take your little shrimp boy and you need to put him in a jar and lock him up too. So it could be cookie or shrimp. It could be young cookie or shrimp. It could be, college age cookie or shrimp. It could be middle-aged cookie or shrimp. Some of these folks in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, they're cookie and shrimp working better than some of y'all youngins. Don't matter what your age is. I'm here to tell you. If you have been giving up the cookie or passing out the shrimp, and everything seems to go left after you do it, you need to lock up the cookies. You need to put the shrimp in a Ziploc bag. Watch this, and put it in the freezer so it don't go bad. Lock it up. I'm going to see who got the courage to put this in the comments. If you have made some mistakes in the past, ooh, y'all ain't going to be honest now. Look at you. You about to testify to the world. You made some mistakes in the past when it comes to your cookie or the shrimp. And you determined to make some better decisions from here on out. Now, don't lie. I don't need you to lie. I'm trying to help you get free. Don't lie. You ain't got nobody to impress. Most of the folk that's in the church, you trying to impress, ain't thinking about you no way. You ain't got nobody to impress. But if you made some mistakes with the cookie, if you need to put the shrimp fellas on lockdown and in the freezer for a while, I want you to put in the comments right now, I'm going on lockdown. I bet you won't say it. I bet you won't get free and say right now, I'm going on lockdown. Come on. Some of y'all ain't going to be honest, but your relationships took a complete left turn the minute you opened up the cookie jar. Everything was good till you fed them. Everything was good, fellas, until you fed them. Look, ain't a single person said I'm going on lockdown. Oh, there's one. This is not an age restricted word. This ain't an age restricted word. Young, old, middle age, it don't matter. Senior citizen, teenager. Some of y'all need to go on lockdown. I ain't talking about school lockdown. Some of y'all need to go on lockdown because your relationships have gone left. Dealing with conquerors, the minute they got the cookie, everything about them and everything about your relationship completely changed up. I'm going on lockdown. Now you got to be careful because when you make this declaration and the conqueror sees it, nothing challenges the conqueror more than somebody who says you can't have none. Oh, y'all ain't gonna keep it real with me. I wish I had some folk out there that's been delivered. Do I have any people out there for real that look, watch this. I'm gonna see how many people I got out there that can be honest and say you've been delivered. That maybe one day in your past you used to be a conqueror, and nothing challenged you more than somebody saying, nope, you can't have this. You ain't gonna get this. You know why? Because then if you are a conqueror, that just really turned you. That really made you go and press after it hard. I'm here to tell you, be careful tonight. When you make declarations like, I'm putting this on lockdown, I'm shutting down the cookie jar, I'm shutting down the shrimp shop, then the devil hears it and he gonna send the full court press. You gonna go to Walmart tomorrow with your little mask on and you gonna run right into somebody who's going to challenge what's in your cookie jar. Oh, y'all don't like this kind of preaching here. You don't like this kind of teaching and talking here. I'm trying to free you. I'm trying to free you. All right. Characteristic number 4. Characteristic number 4. Y'all ready? Characteristic number 4. Fourth characteristic of a conqueror is this: they get bored easily or quickly turned off when they've accomplished their goal. Did you hear what I said? The conqueror. They get bored easily or quickly turned off when they've accomplished their goal. The conqueror gets bored easily or quickly turned off when they've accomplished their goal. The conqueror gets bored easily or quickly turned off when they've accomplished their goal. Now listen to me. Boredom in a relationship is not always a bad thing. Listen to me. Boredom is not always a bad thing or thing that you brought about in a negative way, especially if it's merited or legit boredom. Pastor, what is merited boredom? What is legit boredom? How can I say I am legitimate? How can I say I'm bored and it's legitimate of me being bored? Here's one simple example. Growth is a legit explanation for boredom. Growth in a relationship is a legit explanation for boredom. Growth. What do you mean, Pastor, by growth? I mean, if you're growing and the person you're in a relationship with is not growing and you become bored due to a lack of growth, you're growing, you're advancing, you're maturing mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You're maturing, you're doing all that, you're growing, you're evolving. And the person that you're with is not growing, they're remaining stagnant, they're remaining constant with where they are, they're okay with being where they are, and that creates boredom. It's legit. I just helped some of y'all. Boredom or getting turned off is legit if you are growing and they are not growing. And I'm speaking to some of you that are mature, that like what we talked about in 1 Corinthians 13, we open up with tonight. When I was a child, I thought like a child, I acted like a child, I behaved like a child, I communicated like a child, I carried myself like a child. But when I became a man or when I became a woman, I put away childish things. Let me tell you something. There is nothing more frustrating than to be in a relationship or be connected to somebody where you're growing and maturing and they're not. Because not only will it bring about boredom, it will drain you. And that, my friends, is legit boredom. That is a legit explanation for boredom. That is a legit explanation for being turned off. In a relationship, both people have to grow or the relationship is going to die. The only way the relationship does not die is if both people don't grow. If both people don't grow, they remain who they are, or they remain who they were when they first met. And if they remain who they were when they first met and there is no growth, then there is no conflict. And so it's easier for them to remain as one if neither one has chosen to grow or mature or advance. But the minute one person chooses to grow, the other person is automatically put on notice. If you're growing in a relationship and the other person is not growing, it is legit for you to be bored. It is legit for you to be turned off. I'm not talking about you when I talk about characteristic 4 of the conqueror. What I'm talking about with characteristic number 4 of the conqueror is this. If you're growing, if you are growing, right? If you're growing and they're still bored, if you're growing and they're still not into it, or if they are growing and you are bored, either you're not growing or you are satisfied and the goal has been accomplished. Let me tell you something. If you're growing and it's still not enough for them, if you're growing and your growth is unattractive to them, then you have a conqueror on your hands. Because that conqueror would rather you remain where you were than to evolve and become something better. You have a conqueror on your hands. And that's the problem with characteristic number 4. See, conquerors get easily bored or quickly turned off when they've accomplished their goal. But conquerors don't care nothing about growth. They don't care nothing about growing. They don't care nothing about being a man and putting away childish things. They don't care nothing about being a woman and putting away childish things. They don't care about none of that stuff. A conqueror just doesn't want to get bored. A conqueror just doesn't want to lose. They equate love with excitement. Love ain't always exciting. Love, did you hear what I said? Love is not always exciting. Love is not always fun. Now, the good days ought to outweigh the bad days, but love ain't always exciting. And the conqueror equates happiness to excitement. Oh, I'm bored. All we do is be grown-ups and take care of our kids and pay bills. You grown. You married. What else you supposed to do? What else you supposed to do? Yeah, you can go out and have fun. I'm not suggesting that you can't have fun. I'm not suggesting you can't travel and enjoy it. I'm not suggesting that. But I am suggesting that if your mate's idea of fun is running the street and y'all got kids, house, responsibility, all kinds of stuff, you got conquer on your hands. They talking about they turned off, they bored, when in actuality, the real boredom is connected to their lack of growth. It ain't connected to you. So don't let people make you feel some kind of way because they ain't satisfied with you, but at the same time, they ain't growing. It's one thing for you not to be satisfied with me and you growing. I'm gonna help some of y'all. You can feel some kind of way. You have a right to feel some kind of way, or you don't, rather. You don't have a right to feel some kind of way if somebody ain't satisfied with you and you ain't growing. You ain't got a right to feel no kind of way. You need to grow. You need to grow. Who two people are when they come together and who they will be 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road will be different. And you need to grow. So you don't have a right to feel no kind of way if somebody is like, look, I ain't feeling this and you ain't growing. You ain't got no right to feel no kind of way. You need to grow. Now, if you're growing, if you're maturing, if who you are 5 years, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road is different than who you were when you met them. And watch this, the difference is not for the worse. The difference is for the better. So you've grown, but you've grown for the better. Then they ain't got no right to be bored. And you ain't got no right to feel no kind of way. You don't need to feel no kind of way. You shouldn't allow yourself to feel no kind of way because you've grown. People either got to grow with you or they need to grow out of your life. Put it in the comments. Either grow with me or grow away from me. Come on, put it in the comments. Grow with me or grow away from me. I'm getting ready to give you the 5th characteristic and I'm going to close. Put it in the comments right now. Either grow with me or grow away from me. Either grow with me or grow away from me. Now, don't make this declaration or proclamation and you ain't growing. Folks be making this proclamation, I'm growing. And you the same person today that you was 8 years ago. No, make sure you're growing. If you really growing, you can make the proclamation to say, either grow with me or grow away from me. But everybody has a right to have a 1 Corinthians. Everybody has a right to have a 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 12, verse 13, verse 11, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11 testimony that when I was a child, I acted like one. When I became a man, when I became a woman, I put away childish things. You have a right to do that. Either grow with me or grow away from me. Here's the 5th characteristic of the conqueror, and I'm closing. 5th characteristic of the conqueror is this. They will never see you for more than what you can give them. The 5th and final characteristic of a conqueror is this. They will never see you for more than what you can give them. The 5th and final characteristic of a conqueror tonight that I want to discuss is that they will never see you for more than what you can give them. It's just not in their nature. They will never see you for more than what you can give them. They have an inherently selfish nature. They are takers. They are not givers. They are takers. They are people who would rather receive than give. Period. They can have in their pocket and they'll still take from you instead of using what's in their pocket because they are inherently selfish. Because they want so much, they tend to be unable to function without money. One crazy sign that you might have a conqueror on your hand is a person is if you've got a person on your hands who cannot function without money. The reason a conqueror can't function without money is because for the conqueror, money represents security, but money is not security. How you use money is what presents security. So when a conqueror gets money, they would rather secure themselves than to try to help you. They are the epitome of selfishness. A conqueror will sit there and let you handle all of the business and never ask you if they can help. A conqueror will sit there and watch you pay for every single meal and never volunteer to pay for a single meal. A conqueror will sit there and let you buy them all kinds of stuff and they never open their mouths one time and say to you, I'm going to do this for you. I'm willing to do this for you. A conqueror, they can't function without money, and normally they are people who are used to not having anything. Because when you used to having something, then you act a little bit differently when you get what you used to having. That's money, that's a job, that's a car, that's a house, that's a man, that's a woman, that's sex, that's whatever. When you're used to having something, your behavior changes. And you act as if you are used to having it. When you ain't used to having nothing, it oftentimes reflects in your behavior. And this is the case for the conqueror. Why? Because they only see you for more. They only see you for what you can give them. They see you. They will never see you more than for what you can give to them. They only equate your value to what it is you are giving them. Period. Point blank. That's all it is to it. They are selfish. They are rudely selfish. And they are takers. And I'm here to tell you, if you are in love with anybody who only takes from you and never gives to you, you are not in love with the right person. You don't need no more takers in your life. You need givers in your life. Put it in the comments. This is your last comment right here. Put it in the comments right now. I need more givers in my life. Quickly. I need more givers in my life. Conquerors are nothing but takers. They will drain you dry. You don't need more takers in your life. You don't need more selfish people in your life. I need more givers in my life. I need more givers in my life. I need people who aren't looking for ways to take from me or looking for opportunities to take from me. I need people who are looking for ways to give to me. I need people who are looking for ways to pour into me. I need more givers in my life. I'm here to tell you, if you're connected to somebody who only takes and takes and takes, you got a conqueror on your hands. And they ain't with you because they love you. They're with you because the well has not run dry. This is the domain of the pimp. This is the domain of the player. This is the domain of the whore. This is the domain of the thought. This is also the domain of the user. They will use you until they get what it is that they need out of you, or until it becomes convenient to no longer be with you. This is the conqueror in a nutshell. And you don't need any more takers in your life. You need more givers in your life. And that's my prayer for you. Did this bless you tonight? It's prayer time. I'm ready to pray. Woo! Pastor was drained when he got on this call, but I'm feeling a little bit better now. I'm ready to pray with you. I want to pray with you right now. It's prayer time, and I need you to do me a favor. I want you to put in the comments right now. I tell you, I could do this for another hour easily. I want you to put in the comments right now, whatever your prayer request is. Type in the comments right now, whatever your prayer request is. I want to say this while you're typing. Two of our avid listeners who became aware of our broadcast as a result of being invited to our broadcast during this quarantine season, ironically, asked for prayer for some family members on Sunday, and they lost these family members. One young lady by the name of Crystal. Crystal lost her father in a car accident, and I got the message this morning to be prayerful for her. She lost her father in a car accident, and then Sister Michelle, who tunes in every single week. Both of these young ladies not only tune in, but they're givers, and they've sown into the Rehab Christian Center and really been a blessing to us. Sister Michelle lost her brother to COVID-19. And I want them both to know that if they're tuned in or if they catch the replay, that I'm certainly praying for them and praying for their families at this time. And the church is certainly going to send them a card or something in the mail to let them know that we are with them. And so certainly Sister Crystal and certainly Sister Michelle, if you're tuned in, I want you to know that I'm praying for you on the loss of your father and certainly on the loss of your brother. Listen, if you've got a prayer request, put it in the comments right now. I am praying. I see things that are coming through. I'm praying for healing in your body. I'm praying for your mother's health, somebody's mother's health. Somebody's praying for their mom, single mothers. Very good. Healing. Somebody even called out one of our members, Sister Leslie. Thank you so much. Sister Leslie's doing so well now and doing so much better. But we're certainly praying for Sister Leslie. My son's health, protection, sick and shut in. We're praying for all of those things tonight. Come on, what are your prayer requests? My sister, somebody put in here, my sister. Increase biblical breakdown skills. I believe God will do that. That as you continue to study and read his word, he will help you to be able to understand his word and break it down in a way that you can digest it. Peace of mind, the ability to relax in new and healthy ways. I'm certainly praying for the spirit of relaxation, that the spirit of relaxation might come upon all of us. Pastor needs a vacation badder than he can breathe. Pastor needs just about 7 to 10 days off out of the country, on the beach with my phone off. Bad. And y'all need to pray for Pastor. I need you to pray for your pastor because he needs relaxation bad. So I'm feeling that prayer. Thank you so much for that. Praying for the world, praying for continued spiritual growth. Good. Your niece. Someone has a niece who has surgery on Thursday. We're going to be up early on Thursday. I normally get up a little bit earlier every other Thursday. And then even 5 o'clock, I'll be up early Thursday praying for that. Peace of mind, new forms of relaxation, again, relationships, discernment, that you will be able to see through people's BS for who they are and see through the facades that people present so that you can see people for who they really are. Your relationships, your health, your motives, people's motives. I'm praying for all of these things. Listen, let's pray quickly. Healthcare workers, without a doubt. Those of you healthcare workers, teachers that are about to go back on the front lines, I'm certainly praying for you in this time. Do me a favor, would you? I want you to clasp your hands like this as a sign of faith. We do this all the time. Clasp your hands like this as a sign of faith. If you are by yourself, if you are in a room with somebody, I want you to reach over and grab hands with that person or persons in the room. If not by yourself, I want you to clasp your hands like this. And I want to pray for you right now. I want to pray for you right now. I want to pray for every request that's come across these comments. I want to pray for you that certainly God would answer your prayers. Are y'all ready? Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for every request that's come across the line. I certainly pray now, God, that as we touch and agree, that God, you would meet the needs and the desires and the issues of your people. God, first and foremost, we thank you for the word tonight and thank you for speaking clear to all of us. Help us, God, to be better in our relationships. Help us to be better in our connections. Help us, God, to be better discerners of what it is that you placed in our lives, the people that you placed in our lives, so that, God, nothing remains in our lives other than what it is that you have desired for us. God, we don't want anything that doesn't belong to us. We don't want anything, God, that's going to be detrimental to us. We don't want anything, God, that's going to keep us stagnant and not keep us moving forward. So, God, help us, God, teach us to discern good from evil, to discern good from bad, to discern healthy from unhealthy, so that all the connections we have might be a reflection of your desires for our lives. And not only that, God, for every prayer request that's come across this line, God, we speak to those requests right now. And that, God, that you would bring about healing to families, that you would bring about increased mental capacity, that you would send the spirit of relaxation to your people that are stressed out, that, God, you would bless those workers that are on the front lines now, that are tending to our natural needs. God, that you would heal families, that you would heal spouses, that you would heal relationships, that you would heal sons and daughters, that you would go into the surgery room on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week, and that you would be with the surgeon, and that you would send healing through that surgeon's hands, that their situations and procedures might turn out okay. God, we speak miracles over these airways right now, that, God, we will get answers to applications, that we will get answers to job interviews, that we will get answers to those things that we've sought you for, that, God, we know you've already worked those things out. Tonight, God, we bless you in advance, and we count every single one of these things done in Jesus' name. Amen. Do me a favor. If you prayed that prayer, I want you to put in the comments, as we do every week, it is so. Would you put it in the comments right now? It is so. If you prayed that prayer with me, if you touched and agreed with me, I want you to put it in the comments right now. It is so. All you're saying is, in essence, Pastor, I'm standing in agreement with you. I'm touching in agreement with you that everything that we prayed for, that God is getting ready to make those things happen. It is so. While you're typing that, if there's anybody that wants to be saved tonight, if there's anybody that wants to dedicate their life to Christ, maybe you heard this message and you're not saved and you want to be saved tonight. You want to give your life to Christ. You want to be a part of the body of Christ, the kingdom of God. I want to encourage you tonight to dedicate your life to him. Listen, dedication to your life, dedicating your life to Christ is really as simple as confession. Romans 10:9, that if we confess with our mouths and we believe with our hearts that Jesus Christ lived, died, was raised again for our sins, that we are sinners, but he did it for our sins, that we are saved. It's a simple confession. And I dare not, in any broadcast that we do, without opening up the airways for somebody to dedicate their life to Christ. If you want to be saved, I want you to repeat after me right now. Would you do that? Very quickly. I want you to repeat after me. If you want to be saved, I want you to repeat after me. Those of you that are on the airways that are saved, those of you that have already acknowledged and claimed Jesus Christ as your Savior, I need you to be praying right now. I need you to be touching and agreeing and praying right now that somebody might give their life to Christ. This is the most important part of the entire broadcast. Would you say this prayer with me? If you want to be saved, I want you to say this prayer with me. You ready? Say this with me. I am a sinner. I am not perfect. I have flaws and failures. But I also believe that Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, lived on this earth just as I'm living. He suffered, bled, and died on the cross. But 3 days later, rose from a real grave. And he did it to forgive my sins. I am saved. I am set free. If you prayed that prayer tonight, I want to clap my hands virtually with you and welcome you to the royal family of Jesus Christ. I'm here to tell you, there is no better family to be a part of than the family of Jesus Christ. Yes, we fuss and fight. Yes, there's some crazy people that go to church that claim to love God. But I'm here to tell you there's no better company to be in than to be connected with people who have dedicated their life to Christ. Now, I need you to find a church home. I don't care where you go. I need you to find a church home. I need you to find a pastor who is a Bible believing, Bible teaching pastor who can take the word of God and teach it and preach it in a way that you understand. Teach it and preach it in a way that makes sense to you so that you can apply it to your life and be a better person. God doesn't want to just give you a Romans 10 and 9 testimony. He wants to give you an Acts 2 and 38 testimony, in that he surrounds you with other believers. And where 2 or 3 are gathered, his presence abides, his spirit falls down, and he fills you with the gift of the Holy Ghost. He wants to do that. He wants to change not only your nature, he wants to change your tongue. He wants to change your language. He wants to change your conversation. And he wants to give you quickening power so that when things go left in your right, you have the power and authority that's in your spirit to come against those things. Find you a church that you can join. Find you a church that you can be a part of. If you don't have a church home and you would love to be a part of the Rehab Christian Center, I would love to be your pastor. I would love to be your face-to-face pastor if you're in the Triad area. I would love to be your virtual pastor if you are a long ways away from here. It does not matter. I would love to be your pastor, would love to touch and agree with you on this spiritual walk that you're on and be a part of this spiritual journey. You should see moderators that are asking if you would like to be a part of the ministry. Just simply like or comment on that comment, and they will reach out to you and get some information from you. But I would love to be your pastor, and I would love to serve you in a very, very real way. All right. I hope this message has blessed you tonight. It's giving time. I want to challenge all of you quickly to give. I want to challenge all of you quickly tonight to give. If this message has blessed you, if this message has challenged you, if this message has encouraged you, I want to challenge you all to give tonight. I believe in the power of giving. I just shared with the church on Sunday that this was my week to tithe. It was my pay week. And the first thing that I do every time I am paid is I give my tithes. I believe in the importance of tithing. I believe the importance of offerings, especially if you're giving to a ministry that understands the impact of turning around and changing people's lives. Rehab Christian Center is a Matthew 25 ministry. We believe in serving the needs of those that are around us. And because of that, God has blessed us in a tremendous way. We have not fed and clothed over 20,000 people in less than 7 years on loans and grants and millionaire ballers. We've done it through tithes and offering. God has blessed us to be good stewards of what he's given us. And because of that, we've been able to not only be a blessing to other people, but God has in turn been a blessing to us. I want to challenge you to give. There are 3 ways you can give tonight. You can give via Cash App at $ Rehab CC Give. That's $ Rehab CC Give. You can give via Cash App at $ Rehab CC Give. You can give from our website by going to www.rehabcc.org. That's www.rehabcc.org. Or you can simply text the word Rehab Works to 88202. Text the word Rehab Works to 88202. And you can give either one of those 3 ways. And I promise you, God is going to bless you in a tremendous way. Again, I want to give you those 3 ways one more time. You can give via Cash App at $ Rehab CC Give. That's $ Rehab CC Give. You can give at Cash App, $ Rehab CC Give. You can give from our website at www.rehabcc.org. That's www.rehabcc.org. Again, www.rehabcc.org. Just hit the donate button or the give button, and you can give in a number of ways there, or right from your cell phone by simply texting the word Rehab Works to 88202. One word, Rehab Works, to 88202. And I promise you, right to your phone, you will get prompts, follow the prompts, and you can give that way. But I want to challenge you to give tonight. I want to challenge you to give in a very, very special way. And I promise you, God is going to bless you in a tremendous, tremendous way. Listen, I love each of you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your families, your connections. I'm praying for everything concerning you. I want this week to be a phenomenal week for you. I do not want you to get frustrated by all of the things that are coming your way. I want you to keep your focus. I want you to keep your integrity. I want you to keep your mindset on the things concerning the future that God has for you. And I promise you that if you do that, God is going to open up the windows of heaven. It's going to pour you out a blessing that you won't have room to receive. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Make plans to join us this Sunday. We are still virtual church. Our numbers in North Carolina are still climbing. And so we are not going back while they're climbing. We are still doing virtual ministry right here on Sundays at 9:08 a.m. And I want to challenge all of you to tune in this Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for another powerful word from God. God will bless you if you tune in. He'll bless you if you invite people to come in and tune in with you. I promise you, I've got a word for you that's going to bless you. And I would love to see all of you this Sunday at 9:08 a.m. sharp for a powerful word from God. Listen, I love you. I'm praying for you. Pray for me. And I want you to have a phenomenal week. I want you to have a phenomenal evening. And I want you to know that at the end of the day, there is no weapon formed against you that can prosper. All right. I love you. I'm praying for you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you for watching the Rehab Christian Center Live experience. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow a seed into his ministry by Cash App at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed and have a wonderful week.